Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, bootlegger shills, debt slave serfs, peasants, drones. I am a useful idiot, and I would like to talk about the planet of drones because everyone's heard a lot about drones. I mean, in the news every day now. Of course, we know about these unmanned vehicles that are flying all over the planet now and assassinating people, primarily in Africa and the Middle East right now. There's been a lot of controversy, but I want to expand on this idea of drones a little bit more because I think people need to realize that this is a huge paradigm shift, and this will be the blueprint of tactics and strategies and equipment that will be used well into the 21st century. So this is a defining moment, a change in the military-industrial complex and the police state. So I think it's really important to address this fully. And I noticed that when I look around, there's information about drones, but it's all scattered in different places. And I want to try and centralize this information a little bit because this is a very big deal. And it will continue to be a big deal. And we will see the ascendancy of drone culture rise as the years go on. So, like I like to say, let's get down to the dirty details. Now, politicians and the military love drones because they can wage war while claiming we aren't at war. So we're not officially at war in Somalia. We're not officially at war with Yemen. We're not officially at war in Pakistan. There's 190 some odd countries in the world. We're only at war with a handful of them, and drones can operate anywhere, anytime, and there's very little public backlash. Even though there's been a fair amount of controversy about collateral damage, as the military likes to call it. Here's an example. The U.S. military now, within a matter of a few years, has 19,000 drones. So the military now operates around 20,000 drones. And last year alone, there was 268 drone strikes. So this is Obama's weapon of choice. And we have a total of 3,000 killed, and that includes 800 civilians and 4 U.S. citizens. 4 U.S. citizens that have been killed by drone attacks so far. And the other advantage that the military and the government likes about drones is they're put under the authority of the CIA. So they're operated by the CIA. So once again, they don't have to account to the public, to Congress. They operate with a fair amount of impunity. So now the CIA is a full-fledged paramilitary operation, whereas it used to be intelligence gathering with some, fun spy stuff. Well, now it's a full-fledged paramilitary operation, and in fact, they have as many kills as the American military itself. So don't anybody kid themselves with the CIA involved. It's a military operation, and it's war. And I think another interesting thing that I found when doing this research on drones, that drones were actually used as far back as Vietnam. They were used for 3,500 recon missions in Vietnam. And they had attack drones, but they never used them in combat. So I'm not really sure why that would be. Maybe they didn't want to divulge that we had the technology at that time. And then the first time that drones were used officially in the military capacity was in Bosnia in 1995. And since then, of course, we've seen them used all over the world, primarily Afghanistan, Iraq, Pakistan, Yemen, Somalia, Libya, places like that. And this business is expanding at a rapid pace. There's an Association for Unmanned Vehicle Systems International, or the AUVSI. And that's a group of the usual cast of characters in the munitions industry: Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Northrop Grumman, Raytheon, Bell Helicopter, Sikorsky, Goodrich, General Dynamics, Honeywell. The usual cast of characters of the munitions war industry. And the global market for drones is $6 billion a year, with 50 countries now trying to acquire them. And this is a huge, huge market. The U.S. now corners 70% of that market. And there's some 155 models that are currently in design and production. So everybody's in on the drone business, and there's going to be plenty more to come. And there's drones the size of 727s. There's drones the size of insects. I mean, this is a very interesting technology that's being developed in all different sizes. So imagine the birds and flies and insects that operate as drones. Right now they could be used for surveillance, but I'm sure with nanotechnology they will be armed with weaponry in the future, if they aren't already. Another drone in development is the Solar Eagle. It has a 400-foot wingspan and can stay in the air for 5 years at a time using solar panels. So they're developing all kinds of sophisticated technologies, and all the latest advances are all going into war machinery as usual. So they want to have nuclear-powered drones as well. Of course, I don't even need to explain the hazards of having nuclear drones that could crash, or the technology could be acquired easily by nefarious characters and bad actors. I mean, they're worried about nukes getting in the hands of terrorists now. Imagine a nuclear drone being downed by terrorists. So anyway, and then of course we have the civilian aspect of this as well. February 3rd, the H.R. 658, or the FAA Reauthorization Reform Act of 2012, cleared both houses. Obama signed it, and it calls for domestic drones and used for police actions in the U.S. And there's estimates that we'll have 30,000 drones over the United States by 2020. I know that I read daily that local police forces all over the United States are buying drones. And the Army has a directive as well that they will use drone fleets in the U.S. for training missions and domestic operations. And you know, the NDAA also calls for 6 new drone test ranges to be operational in the next 6 months. So they're really in a hurry with all this. And I will provide a link below that already has some 64 drone launch sites within the U.S. So this is a technology that's expanding rapidly. It's being used for the military and the police. And this is an example of the military and the police interface, which I will go into more in other future videos, because this is a very important development where we have the militarization of the police, but we also have the policization of the military. And I think the elites and the handlers and the government and corporations all realize that these forces need to be reconfigured because they need somebody they can depend on. And having American citizens operate in a citizen army of poverty-stricken youth is not going to fulfill their needs. They're going to want to go with Blackwater and mercenaries and drones and technology, and really get the military and the police full of hired guns and thugs and killers, because that's what they need. But these domestic drones are really interesting because they track anyone at 20,000 feet. So they are in the air in 20,000 feet, and they can monitor up to 65 individuals simultaneously and can see targets up to 25 miles away. So that's another thing I wanted to bring up. I want to make sure that people really understand the capabilities involved in this technology, both as a military weapon and as a surveillance police state mechanism. So these are something they're going to really find handy. They can also intercept communications, and they can be weaponized, obviously. So in the future, these things will follow you. They will send back information. They will intercept your communications, and they will kill you. So there we have it. There's the drone planet. So right now, the military has 20,000 drones. They'll probably have 50,000, 100,000 drones within a couple of years. And we're going to have 30,000 drones in the air over the U.S. In a matter of a handful of years. So welcome to the future. Drones are with us to stay, and we are living on a drone planet.